All right, welcome everybody. 505 Cigar Review Show. Big D is here. And man, am I excited bringing you the interview series on Monday. And today we have one of the hottest brand new boutique brands out there, man. These guys are all over. I'm getting some feedback there. Take that off. These guys are hot, man. Big coming out of Klassic Stix, man. People have been talking about these guys for a while now. And, man, I'm super stoked that we're going to welcome on here Devin from Klassic Stix. What is up, man? How are you doing?
Doing well. Glad to be here. Excited to actually be requested on somebody's show. That's pretty cool. Feel a little bit like a celebrity today.
Excellent. Man, well, good. I'm glad to have you on, man. I've been talking about your brand for almost 6 weeks now, and I've heard nothing but fantastic, great buzz coming from a lot of people about your stick. And man, I gotta say, I've been in love with them. I've done a few reviews on a couple of your sticks, man, and I've loved them. They are fantastic. So why don't you let everybody know about the brand who may not have heard about you or heard me rave about you guys yet?
Excuse me. Alrighty. Well, let's see. The Klassic Stix was actually, the idea started with my partner James, who is going to be popping on here in a little bit. All the cigars are named after his family members. But he approached me sometime around the end of last year because he needed somebody to help get it going and off the ground, and looked into it and couldn't say no. And I believe it was back in April maybe that we first really started rolling out the cigars and starting to get them into a couple shops here and there. Yeah, I'm actually technically fairly new to cigars. I've only been enjoying the experience for about 5 years now. So I'm excited to be on this journey and going through the process and learning something new every day, and meeting all the different people and just enjoying.
Well, that's cool. So what is your background?
My background, let's see. Well, mostly like woodworking, like cabinet doors and like cabinetry. From the time I was out of the hospital when I was born, my parents had me on job sites, and then as I got older, they figured out I could work. So I did a little bit of, I guess you can call it carpentry, cabinet door making. Got a couple restaurant jobs, so I started getting some of the more customer service experience and dealing with people. And then, let's see, I actually went off to Wyotech for a little while. That didn't pan out. Which, if anybody doesn't know, it's like a hot rod school out in Wyoming. Then I came back, had a few restaurant jobs, and worked at a PetSmart, a grocery store. And then my last job before this was actually selling high-end windows down in San Diego.
Wow. So what got you into cigars?
Funny little story. With my ex-girlfriend, we were, I don't know if it's totally acceptable to say, but we were smoking weed and we wanted to roll a joint, but then we figured out we had no papers. So we went on a mission around town to find rolling papers. And we couldn't, it was weird. We went to smoke shops, couldn't find them, gas stations, weird. And it's in Escondido too, so that was extra weird. But anyway, I saw this big sign on the side of the road that said Lord Puffer, big letters. I did not see that it said tobacconist on the bottom, Not that I would have known what that was at the time. So we went in there, and we were gonna say, "Hey, um, can we get some papers?" But then we very quickly realized that it's just a big walk-in humidor. And so she wanted to go look around, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's check it out." And she wanted to buy something. She was already a cigarette smoker, so and I had never smoked a cigar before, but I was intrigued. The smell in that place just made me salivate. It was crazy. And so I had a beer tasting coming up, I think like the next weekend or something. So I started talking to the guy behind the counter and told him what I was doing, that I was new to cigars, and he was actually really helpful and took me to the back corner of the shop. And he suggested, I have no idea what the brand was. It didn't have a label on it. It was just stacked up in the corner with some other unbanded stuff. It was like a Connecticut wrapper with like a honey sweetened tip. And he said it was a great beginner cigar, that it should go well with different kinds of beer, and pretty much downhill from there. I mean, I just had to keep going in, and I went in there so much that the shop owners would let me stay past closing.
You got suckered into that rabbit hole.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've all kind of hit that rabbit hole when we started, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
The longer you've been doing it.
Yeah, like it's cool though, because I mean, the place has changed dramatically since then, but just even I'd like sit out front on they had like a patio with some nice chairs and whatnot, and so I started getting more confident, and so I'd go sit out there, and no matter what, if I wasn't talking to somebody would try to talk to me, and it was really cool, because I'm like, that guy pulled up in a Porsche 911, I pull up in a Mustang, and he's talking to me like any other person smoking a freaking $30 cigar. And sometimes I just sit back and listen to different groups of people talk there. There was this one guy who told all kinds of jokes, and it was just really cool. Like, when I didn't want to be at the house, I could just go sit there and be one of the guys, so to speak.
It's one of those the lounge is one of those places where everybody can kind of come along regardless of your economic background, your race, your religion, your politics, and we're all brought together by dead plant matter, and we just kind of we just enjoy everybody, and there's no fighting, there's no back and forth. It's just good conversation with people.
Yeah. Real quick, James just texted me and said that the link isn't allowing him to hop on. Something about it's reached a limit, maybe?
Reached the limit.
I think that's what it said. I don't want to risk hitting the wrong button again.
No, I have.
I sent him the same one you gave me.
Yeah, I believe that's the same link. I don't think the link number changed on that.
Oh.
Let's see. Nope, it's the same. He should be able to get in. I have an open slot available. I have one open slot available, so he should be able to hop on.
One sec here.
Kind of cool that the owner of the company, James, wants to hop in and talk. That's so cool.
All right, technical difficulty. One sec. I'll try to get him on here.
All right. Well, we will see if we can get James on. How cool is that? There. So I'm smoking the JD, which is a barber pole, and I gotta say, man, Uh, this stick is really good, and most those of you that know me know I'm a whore for barber poles, and this is actually a perfecto barber pole, which is definitely unique and different. Um, but I am definitely digging on this, and these guys have been hot. They reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in wanting to test out their sticks, and I did. I've done a couple of reviews on two of their other sticks, and I gotta say they are phenomenal. Just the way they come across the palette just hits just so beautiful and nice on it, and the fact James really puts in uh, his background of what he loves about cigars into it. It's just
Yeah, and
it shows in the stick. It does.
shame on me. Don't tell anybody, but I can never remember the backstory on the different bands.
I hope James isn't watching.
Oh, he's watching. I've told him a million times. But for some reason, no matter what I do, I can never remember. But I can remember other stuff just fine. Like Nicaraguan and Dominican tobacco in this big old Cecil right here. I can remember that.
This stick is very good. I love barber poles, and
Right?
the
Isn't that
JB
one
is
neat?
just so nice.
And it's
Um,
like I've never really enjoyed that shape myself, but that one just works. Ooh, and we have the rose is available now again since the last time we were
Excellent.
sent you stuff. The little
Excellent.
petites.
So you guys are available in a few select brick and mortar shops.
Yep, I am working on the list for that. There's actually one. Oh my God, what was it? Rhode Island? I think it was Rhode Island or Maine, of all places. We have a guy out there who sold us shot some stuff. A couple around near the Allentown, Pennsylvania area. But once I get over to Georgia, I'm gonna be getting us out to New Jersey. Hopefully, Sanjay's smoke shop, if he's watching. That he's actually a really cool dude. But if you don't know your stuff, he'll give you shit for it.
That's right, and he has the only cigar ever manufactured with long filler.
Yep, he's in person, he's really cool though. He's totally.
Yeah, Sanjay's a good dude. I have never smoked his stick that he put out. It's just, I've just never been able to. I never got one, so I'm just if I ever get one, I'll get one. But I'm not.
Yeah, it's a cool shop out there in New Jersey. I went there when I went out to see Lars a while back, and oh my God, I don't remember the dang name of the town he's in, but it's a nice shop. Big old patio out back, like a lounge with the TV so the dudes can watch the sports games. Everything's behind nice, pretty glass windows into the shop. And then I think he has an upstairs, but it's not done yet or something. But he gave me one of the SP10 Lancero 1014 Lanceros. I was trying so hard not to look like a jackass while smoking that thing. It whooped my butt. I was surprised at how strong that thing was. I was sitting there all right, don't say anything. It was really tasty though. Very peppery and strong.
I bet. That's the way. Those are good sticks. They're made for me. That's the way sticks are meant to be. Just heavy and strong. That king definitely comes across heavy and it hits hard, and I love it. I just that King, I think, was, you know, at this point is in my top 10 for the year right now.
All right, all right. No, I had one of the 6x60s earlier, which I don't normally do in the earlier parts of the day, but yeah, buddy, it's a great cigar. All right, I
So,
wonder.
you guys have anything new that's coming out or anything new you can share with the people out there?
Um, no new. Sorry, there's a gopher. No, sorry, that's a rabbit. No new cigars quite yet. Get what we got rolling and off the ground, which is going to happen as soon as I'm in Georgia. Go out there and start going through the Atlanta, Savannah, and everything in between area, and all like the New Jersey and Pennsylvania and stuff. Something new. We're starting to try to plan out some events to go to at like different brick and mortars or like the BCA. That'd be cool. Things like that. So if anybody has suggestions, definitely like message me or something because I'm terrible at finding that stuff. Aside from like actually talking to the brick and mortars about doing events, like I didn't know about the BCA till today. Shame on me.
Yeah,
Not to be
it's that.
confused with BCA.
That's right. Yeah, the Boutique Cigar Festival in Indianapolis.
Man,
You know, I heard last year was really good, and I wanted to go to this year, but I had to kind of make the decision between going out to Indianapolis or staying.
and I'll only be a few hours from Florida, so I'll be hitting that up too. I hear the cigar scene's happening out there. That should be cool. Actually, Dave heard that.
Wow, I don't
Sorry,
know. Yeah, man, I don't know what happened. You crashed my stream too.
weird. Yeah, I could see my face, but I couldn't see yours. James was
Uh,
saying that it's still not letting him on.
I don't know why. He should be able to get in. Um,
I told him just copy and paste into the browser and IDK, my BFF Jill on that one. Does anybody remember that commercial, by the way? When texting started coming out on the little brick phones that I had back in high school, there was this commercial. The little girl was like, IDK, my BFF Jill. One of those goofy things I'll always remember. But man, yeah, I used to love going to that lounge I was talking about, man. It was like I don't really have a lot of friends necessarily. Not that I'm like a total hermit or whatever, but I'm fairly picky about people. And I have a hard time fitting in a lot of places. But with cigars, it's like everybody's like, bring your personality, please. And you'll get sorted into somebody's group somewhere. And you'll have a
Interesting.
great
Yeah,
time.
I just tried to get in too, and it's telling me the same thing. It shouldn't be like that because
You're the one running it.
I'm the one running it, and I can have up to
Dude,
three. I can have up to three people in on this,
yeah, I had a
and
problem like that with Facebook a few weeks ago. It wouldn't let me into my own account. It was like, you don't have this set up, so you can't get in. And then I set it up, and it wouldn't let me in for like 2 days. There was like the two-factor authentication or something. Weird, man. Technical.
yeah, I'm all right. I'm working on fixing that right now.
Sweet. We need to see that beautiful chocolate
Yeah,
man.
we need to get James in on here.
Man, I'm pretty sure I had the COVID when I went out to Georgia. So if anybody pays attention to the Facebook and Instagram that I run, and you didn't see much for a while, that would have been it. For about a month, maybe a little more, I was out of commission, man. The lungs and the what do you call that, nasal cavity were not having it. But I'm back now.
I got the COVID early on when it started.
He's calling.
I tell him I'm working on it right now. I'm running the show and trying to fix the issue on why he can't get in. Come on. All right, come on. He should have been able to. Oh, we lost him. I'm trying to get James on right now, and I'm trying to. I don't know what's going on. All right, there you are. Okay.
20th time's the charm.
I'm setting it up right now, and I realized why it didn't.
Oh,
why,
sweet.
Why it didn't work? Because my debit card got hacked, and so it got canceled. And so when they went to do the billing on this, it didn't get rebilled.
Yeah. It's not safe to carry cash, but it's not safe to have a debit card either.
I know. So.
Yeah. But he's gonna. I told him keep trying, and that you're gonna fix it for him.
If he's watching, I'll let him know if he can.
Hey, so how did you get into cigars? I don't remember if I've asked.
How I did? So I've always kind of been big into cigar. I guess, you know. When I was younger, I always thought they were cool. And so the day I turned 18, I skipped school. I went to Santa Fe to the cigar shop. I walked in and I said, hey, I don't know anything about cigars, but I want to know. And so they took me into the humidor and basically said, okay, so here's 3 sticks. Try these out. Let us know what you think. And I go, all right, how much are you? You don't want to say anything. Just try them. So they gave me 3 sticks for free
That's
to
awesome.
try. I immediately lit one of them up, and I fell in love. Like, my mouth started watering immediately, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so good.
That's awesome.
So they had me hooked from the start. And so that's how I got started. And I was also working at Reynolds Tobacco, too, as an 18-year-old. So, and from there, I kind of applied to work at. I was working for their premium tobacco line, which is which was the real tobacco, not the cigarette stuff, but Dunhill, Benson and Hedges, American Spirit.
All right. Yeah,
and so,
yeah. That's
so
cool.
Yeah, so that's where I was. I got started in, and so then it just kind of kept going from there.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those rabbit holes that it's like you just gotta know more. I'm kind of like that when I get like interested or intrigued by something. I'm just like, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. It's like a crack fiend or something. Not that I'm like sitting there like for a cigar, but it's like, tell me more. That's cool. Oh man.
All right, all right, all right. I hope it works and it doesn't and it allows it to go through.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah,
Hopefully. All right.
you gotta have a difficulty once in a while to learn anything.
Okay. So let's see here. Let's.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a test on this to see
Alrighty.
if it if it works, and then he can jump in. But I just reset it back up, so it should it it should go through now. I was unaware that was the card on file, so
Yeah.
that was my fault. I was just like, all right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, look, here I am.
Whoa! That wall almost looks like the cigar cabin back there.
Okay, so it is set, so James should be able to get in.
All right. I'll shoot him a message real quick. Another interruption.
Okay. So, there we go. So, screw up on my end, but hey, we had technical difficulties last week. We have it again this week. Eventually, I'll get all this stuff worked out, and it won't be a problem anymore. So, James is going to go get Devin and get him in, and I'm sorry, Devin is going to go get James in, and then
Either
we'll
way,
have a party.
I'll take credit for his name. He's a good-looking dude. I think that's awesome about us. Like, we actually only spoke like with video chat and over the phone up until whenever it was April or March or something. And then even when we met in person, it was like we'd known each other for years. They were just like two peas in a pod. Like, he comes from a totally different place. I come from a different place. We have completely different clothing styles, but we talk pretty much the same.
And
our
the man, the myth, the legend.
Oh,
James.
dang. Danger.
Yes.
Danger, Will Robinson.
What's happening?
How you doing, sir? It's a pleasure to finally meet you after speaking to you on the phone.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, man. It's a pleasure to be here. How you guys doing?
We are doing good. I'm glad to have you guys on. I've been big fans of your sticks, and I said, man, coming back from suspension, I need to go big, and why not with one of the hottest boutique brands that's been out, that highly talked about over the last few weeks.
Thank you,
Wow.
thank you, man. That means a lot. That means a lot coming from you guys, man. That means a lot. Definitely.
Yeah, like, I haven't heard a single negative thing yet. It just blows my mind.
Right. Likewise, I hadn't heard. I mean, everybody that smokes the cigars, the Klassic Stix cigars, they are in love with them, man. They're phenomenal. They always say, man, you guys are onto something, man. You guys are onto something. This is a phenomenal cigar. Real smooth from the start to finish.
Even this big old 70 Cecil, man.
Yeah. Are you smoking one currently?
I am smoking the JD,
okay.
the barber pole.
The barber pole,
Yeah,
right.
I am a I am a whore for good barber poles, and
Okay.
so this is a phenomenal barber pole.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, the one thing that I've like I said, the King was probably one of my favorite cigars so far I've smoked this year. Definitely in my top 10.
Right, right, right. Great, man. That means a lot. I actually love the King too. You know, it's a phenomenal smoke. You know.
Yes.
Um,
So since we got the legend on with us, we'll let people kind of give people an idea of your background and and how you came to creating the sticks, or your idea behind the brand.
yeah, sure, of course. I'm originally from Texas, and I've always enjoyed the smell of cigars growing up. My grandfather and a couple other family members smoked cigars, and for some reason I was always around and just kind of enjoyed that smell of a good good cigar. Um, but as I got older, I moved to San Diego, and that's where I first tried my cigar and fell in love with it. So that was probably back in I want to say 89, 89, 90, somewhere around there. And I fell in love with it ever since. Um, Smoking different types of cigars, and it just dawned down on me one day to why not, look into coming out with Classic Stix cigars. And so I ventured off into it, and venturing off into it, it just got real interesting, and I was excited, and I was like, you know what, let me figure out what's happening with this thing. Let me go off into it and get some more information about this here, because this is a whole different realm. Getting off into the cigar industry, it's more like it's
Hey,
more
Mr.
like in,
Frankie.
it's more
Sorry.
like in the music. It's more like being in the music industry. You're behind the scenes. You and as a creator, you know, I'm behind the scene, and being behind the scene, it seems like I'm finding out a whole lot more with the cigars that I never would have thought, you know, go with the cigars, man. I mean, it's phenomenal, and just coming up with the different blends was was very interesting as well. I know what I like in a cigar, and just hearing other people what they like, I kind of compared it and came up with a different type of ingredient, and I've reached out to some very important people for help, assistance in the cigar, and once created, it I mean, it was phenomenal. It's just what I asked for. It's just what I thought of and asked for, and it's just phenomenal cigar. They're just a phenomenal stick. Um, Coming up with the names, um, I named them after family members. Actually, um, the name of my company is called Classic Stix, and I figured that each cigar would start out being classic, and then the name. Say, for example, the Classic King. This is my grandfather on my dad's side. The one Devin is smoking, the Classic Cecil,
Sorry,
which is
it's
my
a little large.
right, which is my grandfather on my mom's side, and the one you're smoking, the Classic JD, is my father. Yeah, that's my dad, and then I have a Classic Rose, which is my mother. So I thought that was pretty unique as well, and everybody seems to be amazed by the names of them, and how I came up with the concept. So um, once again, it's a phenomenal stick, man. You can't go wrong with a Classic stick.
Oh no, you cannot. So this is the third. I've done the King. I have smoked the King. I've smoked the Cecil, and now I'm smoking the JD. And
Mm.
I mean, you can look at that burn, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the fact this is a perfecto. So Usually you're gonna get sloughing to one side or canoeing. This thing has burned cherry.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, and you can see how oily that stick is. Oh, gorgeous,
Yeah,
gorgeous.
yeah,
It's dripping.
yeah. Yeah, that was one of the
I can wait.
that was one of the major um, issues that I had with other cigars. That you get an uneven burn, and it seemed like the ash on a lot of the cigars were real light,
Yeah.
and they would easily fall. So one of the things about my cigars I've implemented was, hey man, look, this I want an even burn, a long hard ash, something that doesn't change the taste bud from the start to finish. Yeah, and something that's, I mean, I want something that's smooth. I want something that's very classy. And this, once again, in all the cigars, they're all alike when it comes out to be an even burn, long hard ash on all. So that's a big plus, and that's, to me, it separates the classic stick from any other cigar. Where do you go?
Uh,
Yeah, you bring that lighter?
and
Oh,
we're
there you go.
back.
We had some storms roll through, so it's been kind of being goofy with the internet for me today. So I apologize about that.
That's right. Where are you?
Man, I am in Wyoming.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
I'm I'm out of southeast Wyoming.
Yeah, you're in Cheyenne, right? Isn't that
I
what you said?
am. Yeah,
Yeah.
I am in Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. Up the Bakersfield gentlemen, the amazingness that is those guys. Yes, it is always time to order some classic sticks.
I think so, Mr. Bakersfield gentleman.
Yeah,
I,
I mean, and this stick has been burning phenomenally.
yeah, right? Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Man, so I even cracked the wrapper on this cigar. I think when I shoved it in my pocket, when I was running out the door, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. There it is, right. Yeah, the little light spot. I'm sorry. You can't see it so good, but anyway, I cracked the crap out of this wrapper.
Uh,
No issues.
Yeah.
Like, so note to all you people: don't just shove a cigar in your pocket, though.
So
Oop.
yeah.
what? So does this? So does the barber pole, the JD? Does this only come in the Perfecto size?
No, it's in a. We have it in the 60 as well.
Oh, so Perfecto and a 60. Wow.
Right.
Yeah, and that one has actually a Connecticut as well,
Yeah.
so it's not the Candela.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like I say, I'm
60.
not the biggest fan of Candelas, but this has been
But-
blended perfectly on that, where I'm not getting that grass fire taste.
There I
that
go.
Candelas are known for. I mean, it's very nice. I'm getting that very nice peppery earthiness that if a Candela is done right, hits perfect and blended with. I don't know what the other section is. Is that a Habano that this is also blended on with that barber pole?
Yes.
Yeah. So it definitely, the Candela shines separately from that Habano on the taste, and it is phenomenal.
Yeah, just a little bit of like sweet grassiness to it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just enough.
I get that sweet grassiness coming through off on the retro on the stick, and beautiful. It definitely kind of hits all in the right spots, and the fact this thing's burning fantastic for a Perfecto. I was expecting the draw to be tight. I was expecting canoeing, and I was gonna have to do a burn touch up once we got off the nipple on this, but no, it just seamless on that burn.
I'm glad you dig it, man. I'm glad you really dig it.
So what plans do you have for your brand coming up?
I guess right now we actually getting ready to do some cutting lights at different cigar lounges uh, here in Atlanta. That's where I am in Atlanta. So di- different cutting, some cutting lights at different places. The main objective, man, is to really get them out there all over, um, so everybody can really try these cigars. And I guarantee, I guarantee, man, I stake my name on it that once tried, um, you would definitely dig the cigar. And I know these cigars, these cigars are different than any other cigar, man. I mean, it's they're aged differently than any other cigar, and like I said, once they get out there, you can't go wrong. And we're just waiting to catch that sky high flight, man.
This
Yeah.
thing is burning very cool. I'm
Mhm.
touching practically on the burn line on the cherry, and this thing is cool to the touch. The draw
Yeah,
seamless.
yeah.
I'm getting dragon clouds out of this.
All right, time for the smoke trick. Yep, no, we about to start getting out there, do those events like you said, start getting ourselves into some shops so people can actually find us in person. Um,
Are you
mm,
looking at hitting some of the trade shows possibly next year, like going to TP? Not really to sell, but to kind of go and
it,
talk to some of the shops that are out there, and
Yes,
at
and
yes,
least to socialize.
yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
yes. Most definitely,
yeah,
most definitely.
oh yeah,
yeah, and that and that's trade shows like that for me is where I find the newer brands that would not even having tables set up, but just there to come and social, like you said, to socialize, to talk to shops, to talk to other brands, to kind of get ideas or to find brands that were where you're at now, but a year later have kind of grown in their name where they're at.
Right,
yeah.
right,
Like
right.
I wouldn't want to just show up to something like that as a total nobody, and they'd be like, "Who the hell are you?"
I
I'm
don't think
Classic
that's the
Stix.
case. I've heard from quite a few different people out there that are, I guess you could say I'm on that media side, that have been speaking very, very highly of the stick on it. And the fact that I did the Review King, which was the one that ended up getting me kicked off of YouTube for
No,
30 days.
hey,
uh,
they just couldn't handle it, I guess.
it was
But
too good of a stick. But
yeah,
yes, definitely, your website has a link to where you can purchase the classic
yeah,
sticks at.
Mhm.
yeah. We're on. Yeah, there's a link to our buddy Dave's website where he sells them, and then as time goes on, I'll start adding more stuff, and there'll actually be a page with a list of the different brick and mortars and whatnot where you can find our stuff. I just gotta put that together.
Nice, hard, solid ash.
And like
Exactly,
even Kevin
exactly.
Shahan and Jessica like our stuff, man. That was cool.
Oh yeah, this
From the
yeah,
Cigar
that's
Prop. Yeah.
yeah, Cigar Pro. Yeah, you get one of the biggest names in the
Yeah.
industry out there.
They just made a couple of posts at random and I was like, oh my god, I almost forgot I sent those to you.
Mhm.
That was
Yeah,
awesome.
they are. Kevin and Jessica are good people out there, and that's super cool
Yep.
on it. And but I'm seeing more and more, out there from
Yep.
on social media. I always go around on a lot of boutique brands that I like, and I'm always kind of searching the hashtags on them to see
Yep.
who's smoking them and where they're at. And I'm seeing some bigger names out there and some of the influencers in the game out
Uh-huh.
there really
Yep.
speaking highly of your stick. And I think that says a lot for the quality of the stick. The tastes have been phenomenal on so far the three that I've smoked.
Right.
I've been a big fan. Um,
Awesome.
so James, where did you meet Devin at?
Well, we actually met through a good friend of ours. You ever heard of Lars Stevens?
Yes.
Yeah, we met through Lars Stevens.
Okay.
We've been on a couple of podcasts together, and the connection just kind of grew. So we was able to reach out to one another and discuss some things and came up with an idea, a splendid idea, and it's working. It's definitely working.
Absolutely.
Good guy, man.
Yep.
Devin is a hell of a guy.
We met on the internet.
So
Yeah, no, man.
So you decided to swipe right on Devin.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much, Doc.
I think you being in Atlanta is really going to help explode this brand more. Atlanta has one of the best cigar communities that I have ever been around, especially in this country. There's a
Right.
few that are out there, but Atlanta, I always, when people always ask me where's one of the best places to go for cigars and cigar culture and just to hang out, Atlanta, I always say, I mean, you gotta go to Atlanta. It's one of the best.
Atlanta is actually, you're right, it is big, and it's becoming bigger. It's really going to be out there. It's really going to be out here in Atlanta. If once we able to get Atlanta locked down, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to spread out to the other states.
I think so.
It's just getting Atlanta locked down. And if anybody in Atlanta watching, man, you really need to get one of these get one of these Klassic Stix and let's make it happen, man. Reach out to us. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. Let's get into your establishment, and I guarantee you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Absolutely not. I haven't had a bad one yet.
I haven't had a bad one yet.
Well, you're not gonna get one. You're not gonna get one. You're not gonna get one. And see, the unique thing, another unique thing about it is that we have 4 different cigars. So out of the 4, one is going to be to your likings. That's another unique thing about it. One is going to be to your likings. If it's not the Classic King, maybe the Classic Rose. If not the Classic Rose, maybe the Classic JD, or even maybe the Classic Cecil. Out of the 4, one you really is just going to top tier. Your smoke. You're going to be like, okay, you know what? The King, I really dig the King. Let me try the others. You try the others. Okay, these are all smooth. So in order, give me the King, give me the Cecil, give me the Rose, give me the JD, or whatever order you. So that's another unique thing about the Klassic Stix is that you have a lot to choose from. You have 4 to choose from, and out of the 4, you will dig one of the cigars out of the 4, if not all.
Yeah, if you're like me, you'll enjoy all of them.
So far, I'm digging the 3 right now. The 3 that I've had.
The Rose is a couple like little petites. Sorry. Oh, why am I drawing a blank? A 4x30 and a 5x30. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So they're kind of like cigarette-ish size, but plenty going on in that little stick.
It is, and creating the Rose, and like I say, just watching people in this cigar industry smoking, I see a lot of ladies that do like petite cigars. A lot of ladies like flavored petite cigars. So I'm not really big into the flavor game, but I do like a good cigar. I will smoke a petite cigar long as it's good and non-flavored.
Absolutely.
Now the Classic Rose was, I gave to certain ladies who smoke sweet cigars, but when they fire up the Classic Rose, it was like, oh my goodness, this is so smooth. This is exactly what I'm talking about. now I really do feel like a true cigar smoker. You know, I'm not smoking the little, what they call them, a
Like
little
the black and mild, it's the
yeah. I'm not this. I really feel like a true cigar smoker. Now, this is a phenomenal cigar. They love the Classic Rose, but if this makes any sense, the Classic Rose was created for women, but yet is not for women because I enjoy smoking. I love smoking the Classic Rose.
oh yeah.
You know, it's a phenomenal cigar. Three
I
little, they're phenomenal.
I
They're
converted
phenomenal.
a lady from smoking like the black and mild and the swishers to the rose. It was
Mm,
just gave her one and she was like, "All right."
yeah, yeah. That's the effect that the Classic Stick has on you. You know,
Oh,
it has it on you.
that's a cool screenshot there with the smoke coming out of your mouth as you froze for a second. Or I said nose, mouth, whatever.
Ah, I know
Yeah,
the storms. Need
It
the
is what
need
it
the
is.
need the rain, but it's playing havoc on the internet tonight
Yep,
apparently.
yep.
But
I've got
so, are you working on any new blends?
um, not as of right now. Not as of right now, but once we get these four out, once we get them out there and get it going, um, an idea of creating one that's creating well, two that I'm kind of looking at, and one is something that's catered to Devon, and another is like like a limited edition type or some type of special type cigar, with a different type blend. So yeah, it's that will come. That will come in due time. We just now concentrating on these four and really trying to push these and get these out there.
yeah, you
And
don't want to
get
do
the
too much at
Classic Stick
once.
name. Yeah, get the Classic Stick name out there.
I think the Classic Stick name is going to be a brand that's going to be
Oh
around
yeah,
for a while.
oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, oh
We
yeah.
just sent some cigars out to Chicago, so we're gonna start getting
Yeah,
out there, man.
Yeah.
I they are, man, and when Devin reached out and asked if there was something I'm interested in, I'm of course, that's what I built
Yeah,
this channel on is the the education of boutique sticks and
yeah,
introducing people to sticks that they may have never heard of before, getting
Right.
people to go to that other side of the humidor that they never go to, and
Exactly. Exactly.
that's what I
yep,
want people to do,
yep.
and getting both of you on so people can put a face to the stick and go, I remember watching that guy on the show. I remember,
Mhm.
the reviews that I've put out on the sticks because I really want people to get out there and try these sticks because they're phenomenal, and I have not had a bad one. And the fact that this was a perfecto that is never been touched up once since I started smoking. It has been smooth, easy draw, even through the nipple portion to start the stick off.
Right.
Perfect. And
Right.
for somebody like me who does not care for Candela, the Candela has been blended perfectly with this Habano. No grass fire, which is usually, which to me
Yeah,
is
right.
why I've kind of I shy away from Candelas. I'm like, I just don't want that grass fire taste.
Right.
Dude,
Right.
I get enough grass fires out here in San Diego, and I don't mean the wacky grass. There was just a
Right.
brush fire a couple weeks ago down the street, a couple miles. Enough, but no,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
that's awesome,
thoroughly
man. We
enjoyed.
are kind words are much appreciated.
Yeah. I'm glad
Wow.
you're really, really digging the cigar, man. I mean, you know, always love good feedback on our sticks. Um, Also, people note that we didn't go cheap as far as the bands either.
Oh no, oh no,
The bands are
not at all.
are phenomenal, man. This is not your average band paper. This is a thick,
Yep.
very expensive paper, and we did this, we created this here, for the people, because it goes exceptionally well with the cigar. We didn't want to put out a good cigar, but a cheap band, So everything about the cigar is just classic. Everything about the cigar is classic, from the band to the smoke. It's just classic.
Yep. And the bands just slide right off.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so you talked about your love for cigars coming from hanging out with your grandparents, your grandpas. Right. On that, have you thought about trying to replicate kind of a cigar that had that aroma that you remembered as a kid?
Not really, because the type of cigars that they were smoking, I really don't remember the names of them, of the cigars that they were smoking. All I remember the color of the leaf, which was a real light color tobacco, but I just don't remember the name. And that type of smoke, I don't think you can. See, cigars was a lot different back then. They would actually really come, even though they've been out, but they were actually really coming into play a little bit, and so that type of cigar is probably most likely hard to find, because they were smoking cigars long before, when I was before I was even born, actually, so believe me, the tobacco was a lot different. Most likely it was a lot stronger, even though the leaf was a light color, but I guarantee it was a strong cigar. Now cigars now when you look at a cigar, you look at a light colored cigar, you automatically assume that, oh yeah, that's a mild cigar, I don't want that. But I don't think those were mild cigars, because they had a real strong aroma. And I know it did make them feel good. it did definitely make them feel good. And they let it, they hold it in their mouth, and they will let it burn out, and they just have it in their mouth and just enjoying the taste of the flavor of it. Then they relight it, and it's just, and the end of it was just damn it chewed up like tobacco, but that's what they loved, that's how they used to get down, so I remember all that.
My grandpa used to chain smoke White Owls,
Mm.
and I always remember that smell, and I remember him bitching when they
Right.
changed the blend on it, and he's like, they did something to it, they changed it, these aren't good
Mm.
anymore, and I'm like, I can't smell the difference between what it was, but he would, back in the day when people weren't offended, but he would chain smoke in the car with the windows up, cigar, and then he'd
Exactly.
finish the cigar, go to a cigarette, back to a cigar, back to a cigarette, back and back. And when the windows were up,
Dang.
you get out of the car and it just smoke just would
Exactly.
billow
Exactly.
out.
Yeah, my grandfather, he never did smoke cigarettes, but the cigars, we would ride in the pickup truck, and we would go out to the countryside, and it would just be me and him, and he's over there just puffing. It's just smoke all in the truck, But I'm enjoying it though. Yeah, I mean, I'm not getting dizzy. I'm not, didn't have to. I just love the aroma, and we go out to the countryside, man, to a huge watermelon patch, because he loved watermelon. So we would guide the truck and trailer out there. He picks up a bunch of watermelon. We ride around town selling watermelon. He just cigar lit, cigar just lit and going. And I mean, can't beat it, man. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change that for nothing, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's you can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Would you like some watermelon?
But
I know how much you love watermelon.
yeah, but I can eat watermelon now. I
Oh,
cannot eat it.
something's changed.
I cannot eat it now. I ate so much
I
as a
remember.
kid. Me and him,
Weirdo.
because they would load the truck up with watermelon, and he would grab one, and he would take out he used to have a little pocket knife, take it out, and he'd cut it open. He'd give me half, and he's still ready to eat half. We'll be eating watermelon, man, for days, man. I mean, and I can't eat it now. I cannot eat it.
Thought it'd be fun to offer you a little piece because I remember that story.
Yeah, I cannot eat watermelon now, man.
I love me some watermelon.
Yeah, I call those old sticks Grandpa sticks because those were the sticks that grandpas would always smoke. And
right,
even now when I go into the local brick and mortar and I see them there, it just kind of always takes me back to this place, back to for me back to the 80s when I was young, and I was just like I'm like I wonder what they take, the White Owls, the Prince Albert, all those different
all those different
sticks.
I remember all those. I do remember that my grandfather used to, back in the day, used to smoke a cigar that was in a little tin box. It was a can, almost like a can, but it was kind of flat, but it was tin. I think he had probably and you could buy them in the store like that. And you flip the cap open, and you had like 4 or 5 cigars in there. I think it was like 5 cigars in there. I do remember that. What kind of cigars they were, I just don't recall the name. But that was back. Now that was back in the day. That was like in the late 70s, early 80s, when that was, but. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were good. Do you remember the first cigar you ever smoked?
I don't. Like I said, I was in San Diego, and I was downtown San Diego, and I remember walking into this establishment downtown, and they had cigars, and what was so unique about it was I went to this establishment a couple of times, and the night that I tried my first cigar, I was like, hey, let me try it, because other people were smoking, and I was like, so I tried it, and I don't remember what cigar I was smoking, but I fell in love with it. But continue to go back to this place. It was real unique. They had some cognac in a nice big glass, and they had it on a stand, and they were heating. They only poured you so much, and the glass was tilted to the side, and it was being heated by something. It was being heated by fire, of course, but and I saw where people were dipping the cigar in it and pulling the draw. So I was like, man, that seems pretty interesting. So I tried it, and I fell in love with that. And I really don't remember what type of cigar it was, because I've smoked so many damn cigars through the years, man. I smoked so many cigars through the years, it's ridiculous. I really don't remember what type of cigar it was.
Devin asked me where my journey started, and I'd always been interested in them. A lot of it from going back probably to my grandpa on that. But the day I turned 18, I skipped school. I drove to the shop. I drove to the shop in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I walked in. I said, "Today's my day. I just turned 18. I don't know anything about cigars, but I want to know." And so the guys go, "Okay." They gave me 3 sticks, and they didn't charge me for them. And they go, "Here, see what you think." I lit that first one up, and I immediately fell in love. I was drooling. It tasted so good. And I still remember, it was a Padron 2000 Natural.
Wonderful.
It was my very first stick.
What year was this?
That would have been 2000.
See, you 2000, you can remember that, but I'm talking way back in 89, 90. I just don't recall, man. I should have remembered the name, but I just don't recall. Like I said, I done smoked so many cigars, man, through the years. But but I do not recall what type of cigar it was.
It just
I
kind of
did.
stuck. It
Oh,
stuck.
go for
It's
it.
just one of those that just sticks with me, because they gave me a Padron 2000 Natural, a Camacho Connecticut, and an Oliva Series G Cameroon were the three sticks they gave me. And though all three were so good and they've been so memorable to me that those flavors never have left my head. Like to this day, anytime I smoke a Padron Natural, I mean, I got a drool bucket going. It just hits all those senses and takes me back,
Right.
22 years ago.
Yeah, that's actually, I was thinking about it. My first memory of a cigar or seeing somebody or being around anybody smoking cigars was probably around 2000 or somewhere around there. I was like maybe 13 or something. I was on a camping trip with a bunch of people, and one of my friends was in the Marines, and he had just come back from a deployment, but he happened to be able to bring back cohibas, and he shared them with all the adults. And I can still remember the smell of that thing, and I was just like,
Right.
oh my god, this is amazing.
Right.
And then it wasn't until 17 years later or whatever that I picked one up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was 30, but I just, man, that, and I know that I'll probably never find that again. But
Mm.
because it smelled to me like I want it, not manure, but like I, you would think manure as like a terrible smell, but I love it. But like very
Had that barnyardiness.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you did some like fresh like mulching around the yard. You just get that. I don't know how to say it. It's just I'll never forget it though.
Yeah, there's just certain things that stick, and when you smoke a good stick, and some sticks just they'll never leave your brain, and then you
Right.
end. The one thing that I've had to try and clear my mind is trying to compare cigars to other cigars. I'm just like, I'm not going to
Now you
compare.
can't.
Every cigar is going to stand on its
Yep.
own, and I'm only going to compare this cigar with this same cigar when I smoke it again. Is it as good as is it as good? And
Yep.
smoking the king, smoking that king that Devin sent me, and then going and buying a fiver of it. They have all smoked exactly the same every time. That's why I said it's a stick that right now it's in my top 10. It's just too good not to be. It hits everything you want. Everything I want in a cigar is
Yeah,
where
it's
that
good.
king hits. Yeah.
Like
That's the way it was created, man. That's I
yeah,
mean, because I think as a cigar smoker, you know what you like. You know how you would like your cigars to be, especially with a nice even burn, long hard ash. I know me personally, that's what I like. But just seeing other people and going to some very nice, fine establishments, I see people smoke cigars like that. You could tell the difference in the cigars. So a lot of them burn uneven. A lot of them just, it's not the same.
so have either of you guys ever had a cigar that just straight up whooped your butt? Like you were smoking that thing and you were like, I'm not moving for a while. And what was it?
Yeah. 2 years ago, for my birthday show, I smoked a Padron 1926 Maduro 40th anniversary, and it was pointed out to me, people watching the video, that I was rambling and my eyes were glassy. It was like that
Yeah.
your pupils were all dilated, your eyes were glassy, and you were just rambling. And I was like, I don't remember that. Then I went back and rewatched the video. I was like, oh man, that thing, that thing messed me up.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually it was probably about 5 years ago. I was at my local brick and mortar over in Escondido, and they always had, or once in a while, they would have like a kind of like a bargain bin almost, but it was like a small box almost. It wasn't like a big display or anything, and they just throw cigars in there once in a while. And I had never smoked a Gurkha, but you either love them or you hate them. But it was a big old fat. I think it was called the Widowmaker. But I picked it up because it was freaking massive, and it was only like $8 or $9 or something. Why, I don't know, because it definitely isn't an $8 or $9 cigar if you can find one. And I don't know if I didn't eat or what. Could be because I was so fresh, but man, it took me 3 hours to smoke that thing. Like, roommates came back and forth for those 3 hours and were like, "Oh my God, you're still smoking that thing?" I'm like, "Yep." And when I tried to get up out of my chair, nope. I was glued. I was like, I gotta sit here a while, and then I immediately went to the refrigerator to get some like orange juice or something. I was like, I gotta get some sugar. Like, I was about to pass out. That thing was freaking strong.
Well, I've had a couple of experiences with a real strong cigar, but one mainly that stood out was the LaFleur, the Digger. Now that particular cigar, and I love them, but I remember when I first tried one, and it was so strong, and I ride motorcycles, and I drove my motorcycle that night, and I just couldn't mess on that. No. Karen, I'm sorry about that, but that Digger took me over the top, man, and I couldn't ride home that night. I had to sit and leave my motorcycle at the cigar spot, and I had to sit down for a minute. I took this young lady's seat. She had got up and went to the bathroom, and I said, "Man, I got to sit down." And I remember sitting there, and she come back. She said, "Excuse me." I said, "Ma'am, I cannot get up. I can't get up." I said, "Just bear with me for a minute. I cannot get up." And but the Digger, I do, and I was sweating, man. I was just sweating. I had to drink some water, man. They were just bringing me water. I said, "Man, I can't ride my motorcycle home, man." So, but yeah, this is the Classic Rose that I was talking about. Phenomenal cigar. Comes 3 in a pack. And this is the, Devin, the 5x30, right?
Yep, that's the longer ones.
Yeah, these are long ones, 5x30. And these are phenomenal. These are the one the ladies love. These are the ones that
I love it.
Yeah, I dig it. I truly dig this cigar. This is
a phenomenal. Not just saying that. That thing is.
Yeah, they're phenomenal, man.
Oh, yeah.
They good to smoke on the go as well. It's like
exactly like you're walking the dog or something, man.
Yeah, I like that, man. It's still cool to the touch, too. It's still cool
to the touch.
Yeah.
That's a nice little nublet.
Yeah. I mean, and it's good. Definitely, the pepper is this final third into the nub. The pepper's just sitting on the lips, and it just.
Right.
This is a very good stick.
Glad you dig it, man. I'm glad you dig it.
I think that one's got a nice like little sweetness to it almost, like tobacco sweet though, to me.
Yeah. Almost like a sweet grass. As you said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely the sweet grass. For
like
me, that sweet grass really comes through in the retro. For me, but definitely is a good stick. And for a Perfecto, I think this is probably one of the best burning Perfectos I have ever smoked.
Oh, man, that's good,
straight through, man. I didn't know I was going to be, and I was like, well, I'm just going to try it as is and see if I've got to cut the tip. tip-off just so I get a flush burn to start off with. But I said, well, the only way I'm going to know is...
Nope.
But this thing burned phenomenal. Guys, I appreciate you all coming on and hanging out with me and talking about your brand. I really hope more people get out there. Definitely go check out Klassic Stix website.
Yep.
Go pick your guys up some sticks because dude, these guys are on fire. They're one of the hot from people who I'm talking to in the cigar media out there. They are falling in love with these sticks. These guys are going to be blowing up big, and then you're not going to be able to find them. So you gotta go get them now. Get on the Klassic Stix train right now.
Exactly.
I do need to tweak the website a little bit, so bear with us on that one. But it does work, and you can definitely interact with us on the Facebook and Instagram. I'm gonna attempt TikTok again, but I'm always on there. So if anybody has questions,
hit them up. Any questions I've ever had, Devin has always been really quick to get back and respond to. So, and they got a nice Facebook group growing as well.
Yep, the Facebook group is always someone new joining up.
So yeah, very good. So guys, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. There is no live show next Monday because it's the 4th of July. So enjoy your sticks and your smoke. And I will be prepping. And going out to Vegas for PCA, so look for some PCA content coming out.
A mere 5 or 6 hour drive from me.
I'm flying, so
yeah, that'd be a hell of a drive from where you're at.
Yeah, so I'll be flying out to Vegas. And tomorrow night, guys, Ryan from Rocky Mountain Cigar Show and myself, Raw Cigar Reviews on IG Live, 7 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Central. Come join us. We will be live reviewing the Small Batch Cigar Club's Blender Series from Indiana Ortiz. And Thursday night hangout. So far, it's been just me for the last few weeks because Wrench is taking a sabbatical. But we'll be on IG Live Thursday night. So... guys, thank you so much. Any final words from either one of you guys?
Hey, go ahead. Thanks. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Thank you to everybody so far. If you're all watching, for all the kind words from all you reviewers, and again, hit us up on the Instagram and Facebook if there's any questions or awesome photos, things like that. Yeah, man, get you some.
Exactly. Kudos, man.
Get some of that. You need this in your life.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Get you some, man. Get you some. Exactly. Get you some.
You need it. Just tell your wife you need a box.
Yeah.
Oh, that probably sounded bad, but get you some.
Reach out to us.
Guys, thank you so much, everybody. We will see you later.
All right. Peace.